because I know you all are back from your festive mode. I hope you all had a good time in your festival. I hope you all did your festival well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay, Shruti is there today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Shruti. Okay, so in the previous classroom, we were speaking about what are the policies in teacher education, including the notes we have been discussed on policies in teacher education. So today we are going to speak about few practices in teacher education, like what kind of innovation can be, what kind of innovations can be implemented in teacher education. There is much portion given in your textbook. So today only the practices we are going to do. Only maximum of 30 minutes class I'm going to take and leave you on. So today in the practices of teacher education, as we all spoke about policies and what matter given in your textbook is fine, you can continue with that. So I've just checked whatever are given. So those are enough, no need of notes. But after class, like 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to give a small notes on that. If you add up with this, whatever is given in your textbook, and if you add what I give you, the notes, if you write the answer, it will be useful for you. Okay, now coming to the practices in teacher education. Now, what is teacher education? Teacher education is nothing but you have a good definition given by one of the great educationists saying that if you educate a boy, you educate an individual. And if you educate a girl, you educate the whole family. And if you educate a teacher, you educate the whole community. I'm once again repeating, one of the great educationists once said like this, saying that if you educate a boy, you educate an individual. But if you educate a girl, you educate the whole family. But if you educate a teacher, then you educate the whole community. So that is the reason the profession of teacher or a teacher to be teacher need to be taught by the educationist. The only reason is when you educate a teacher, she will be able to educate the whole community. Now, as you all know, teacher education is one of the noblest profession when compared to the all professions. You all know it is considered as the noblest of all the professions. Why it is considered as the noblest one? Because teacher is the only person who tries to mold with the help of education, who tries to mold and who acts as a backbone or who acts as a nation developer. That is why it is called as the noblest profession of all the qualities. So today in the classroom we are speaking about the practices in teacher education. So why and what kind of innovations should be introduced into teacher education? Not only that, and why a teacher has to be educated, why there is 2-year course, why there is 1-year course, and in the future why it is going to become a integrated course. Only thing is why a teacher has to be educated. Many a times you may have an application question stating that why it is a need a teacher to be educated. Then you can write down on your own. So as a teacher, teacher profession is the noblest of all, and that is the reason a teacher has to be educated before she enters into the teaching field. Now coming to this one, what is the prime reason for a teacher to be educated is because to give a quality kind of thing to the profession. A teacher, if she's really with good quality, it doesn't speak about quantity. Now, what is quantity? It doesn't matter. You have so many degrees and you are very low in teaching profession. That is, you are not a quality teacher. Then it will be a problem. You may say, no, I'm a postgraduate. I'm a PhD graduate. I have so many PGs with me. I have done so many computer courses and all. But doesn't pay when you don't have a quality in your teaching. Quality in the sense, not the way you dress up, or not the way you work, or not that, but it speaks about the quality what you have, the knowledge what you have, the skill what you have, the competency what you have, and the rapport what you have with the children as well as the parents, as well as the community, as well as the administration, as well as the management. So all together, the only prime reason for a teacher to be educated is the quality of a teacher. I already told you, it is not the quantity. No, quantity is how many degrees you have or from which background you have came. You cannot say that both the parents are teachers, my whole family or my whole relations are teachers, many of my well-known friends are teachers, so I'm a teacher. You cannot say that. So quantity does not speak here. Teacher education only speaks about the quality. That is whether you are equipped with many number of, what you say is you are equipped with n number of skills, performances. So teacher education is all about, Maulika, good morning. Teacher education is all about the quality. Now speaking, can you tell me, is teacher education or the profession of teacher is as easy as the other professions?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, because Ramani said no, because as she's already into teaching profession now, yes, it is not at all an easy one. So apart from teacher education, teacher training process is also very tougher one. When we were doing our teaching, that is when we were doing our BEd, what everybody used to say is, if you have enmity on somebody, and if you cannot scold them, or if you cannot do them or harm them, you get them and join them in a BEd college, then you can take the revenge. People used to say like that. If you have revenge on somebody, get them and make them join into BEd course, because that was 1 year course, 180-day course, where we had n number of, every day was like an activity for us. Every day we used to run, all our 180 days. Thank God it has been shifted to 2 years, but 1 year all the courses has to be completed, including our lesson plans, period plans, unit plans, teaching practices, and even the academics. So BEd is not as easy as people think. Training of a teacher is not at all easy as they think. Profession of a teacher, that is why it is called as the noblest profession, because as a teacher you have to manage everything. One child in a house or two childs in a house nowadays are not to be controlled, but 40 or 50 students in the same class with different mindsets come and sit together, and as a teacher you are the only one who have to take care of. That is why it is called as the noblest profession of all professions. So today in the classroom we are speaking about the practices in teacher education. So why a teacher has to be educated, we are discussing on that. The only prime reason, quantity does not speak out, quality speaks out. So quality of a teacher has to be improved. A good quality teacher can sustain in any circumstances. In the beginning of the classroom itself, I told you, when you try to educate a boy, you are trying to educate an individual. But when you're trying to educate a girl or a woman, you're trying to educate the whole family. But when you're trying to educate a teacher, that is, you're trying to educate the whole community. Now, so this is all about speaking about the teaching profession. Now coming to another one is why there should be a new innovations in teacher education. So as you all know, teacher education is not the new one. It has been coming from past so many years. There have been so many good, great personalities who were teachers, who have really formed about nation. There are people who have really influenced others. So whenever we speak or whenever we try to speak with the children, or whenever we try to have discussion with the normal person, whenever we ask them, who is your good personality, that is, who are the person who have influenced you, many of us will say one of the teacher from my school, but we say most of the time we don't get answers from one of the lecturer from our college, because the most of the time we spent is in the school. It is all about 10 years or some LKG and UKG, all 12 years you stay in the school. So many of the teachers are influenced. That is, many of the students, many of the teachers try to influence the students. So why there is a need of new innovative? Because we should have new ideas, new vision, and new thoughts and new skills to interact with the students. So instead of only the lecture method, instead of only teacher coming and standing in a classroom and explaining for 45 minutes, there should be new ways and new methods, and that is the reason teacher education, new innovative practices have been introduced into teacher education. One of the greatest educationists, this is one of my favorite definition. I'm not remembering his name, but when I was doing my BEd, this was my, it really touched my heart, this definition. It is not, it says like this: a classroom is like a studio where a teacher is an artist. A classroom is like a studio where a teacher is an artist who tries to shape and mold their students with the instrument called as education. So this really touches me whenever I go or whenever I speak on some related things. I really feel that yes, we are like an artist, where we have to shape our molds, the students, according with the help of the instrument called as education, and the classroom situation which is called as the studio. So we play a major role in education system. We play a major role in teaching and learning process. That is the reason a teacher has to be educated quality wise, not educated into the quantity wise. That is, finish my BEd, then I'll go for MEd, and finish my MEd, then I'll go for my MPhil, finish my MPhil, and then I'll go for PhD. But that doesn't count. I'm speaking about the only thing counts is your quality. Whether you have so many degrees, but you are very nil at teaching, that doesn't count. So quality speaks out here. So in this classroom, we are going to discuss few of the innovative practices in teacher education. So whatever innovatives which has been given in your textbook, those are fine, you can write down there. So the only thing is why the innovation, for example, what is innovation? Innovation is nothing but creating new ideas in teaching and learning process. You know, teacher education is called this teaching as well as learning process. You are learning and also there is teaching process going on in this 2 years. So that is the reason innovation. What kind of innovation? That is bringing technology to education. Innovating, new innovative is nothing but bringing technology, more of colorfulness, more of creativity into the classroom situation. So the first innovative is called as team teaching, cooperative or collaborative learning process. The team teaching, cooperative and or collaborative learning process. You know what is cooperative and collaborative learning process. You have been doing practically in the classroom situation when you were doing your EPC 2, I think so. So when you were doing your EPC 2 or I remember EPC 3, I think so, your computer practical ICT project, you were doing a collaborative work in the classroom. You know what it is. You know what is team teaching. Team teaching is nothing but it is in a smaller group, 4 or 5 students, that is student teachers will come together where one of the teacher voluntarily stand up and try to teach. So the rest of all will give them feedback. So that is called as team teaching. A team will come together, try to teach and try to know their, what you say, okay, one of the friends says, in front of your spouse, not in front of a teacher, in front of your spouse, what you do is, you make a group, you make a team, you will be having a collaborative learning and cooperative learning. That is, one teach and another one tries to say what all you did while you're teaching. And collaborative learning, a given topic will be there, then you all come together and discuss. So this is a new type of innovation where you'll come to know what are your, what we say, strengths and weaknesses. So the person who is seeing you, or the person who is invigilating you, will try to say what mistakes have you done in this 10 minutes teaching, or else a 5 minutes teaching, or else a 2 minutes teaching. So when you stand, the way you speak, everything will come together, and your friend will try to suggest you, or your friend will try to invigilate you and tell you what wrongs and what mistakes have you done in teaching. So that is one of a kind of a innovative which has been introduced. So the innovative idea is team teaching, cooperative or collaborative learning process. Now can anybody tell me, is there a difference between a team teaching and a cooperative and collaborative teaching, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Collaborative teaching means they all will sit together and they will like come up with their ideas.
Yes.
But when it comes to team teaching, one will teach and others will refer and they'll give their
feedbacks. Yes, ma. So there is a difference between team teaching and collaborative teaching. Team teaching is everybody will have a voice to speak out. Where collaborative is one idea is given where everybody will give their views on that idea, ma. Is it clear? Now coming to the second one, coming to the second innovative practices, reflective teaching and reflective teacher education. So as you were not, there is no college actually, you have your EPC, one of the EPC as a reflective. You have one of the EPC record as a reflective record. That is, you will reflect. For example, it is nothing but it's an ongoing process of critically examining and refining practice. It is nothing but in front of your spouse and in front of your teacher, you try to stand, for example, as seminars. You give seminars in the college. So what we try to do, it is a continuous process. What I try to do, after you finish your teaching of 5 minutes, I will try to give you feedback, including the students, that is including your student teachers, including your spouse, including your peer group, your teacher or the lecturer who is observing you tries to give you feedback. What you do, you again try to, what you say is you try to mend everything and then you try to say it again. So that is why it is called as an ongoing process of critically examining. So day one, when you stand in front of everybody for a seminar, your teaching will be totally different, because that was the first time you're standing. But when you stand for the 5th time, there will be a lot of change. That is why it is called as an ongoing process where you critically try to examine. You try to examine because you will know the difference. The first time when you stood, your hands were shivering, your legs were shivering, you're totally into sweat, you could not even open your mouth. And the second time when you stand for a seminar or when you try to give a reflective thing, what you do is you try to change because your friend says, and even the person who is examining you tries to ask you to change a few of the things. Okay, don't always turn on side or towards the board. Try to interact with the children, because this is the all innovation process, or the only reason for us to educate a teacher is mainly because education should be a child-centered one. Teacher should be only a facilitator. So this is what is called as a reflective teaching and reflective teacher education. It is an ongoing process of critically examining and refining practice. So you have to refine your practice. You again have to change your teaching method or teaching process what you have done, because when a 5 minutes or 10 minutes class, few of them are there. For example, you are about 100 students. So among 100 students, everybody may not be perfect in teaching, but some may be perfect in interacting with the students. Some may be perfect in writing on the board. So everybody have an individual skills. What you try to do this 2 years, you try to be perfect in all the skills. Okay, if you're good at writing on the board and if you're very weak at teaching, then you try to refine that things. But few are there who can teach very well, who can interact in the classroom, but they cannot write properly on the board. They don't know how to use the board. So teaching practices help you all to refine your practices which you are not good at. I told you, some maybe they have very good knowledge about the textbook, but they cannot speak out. They have many things going on in their head. They wanted to prepare everything. They prepare for 45 minutes of class. They write everything on the paper, but when they stand in front of the students or in front of everybody onto the dais, what will happen is their words just flourish. Their words just go away like birds. So that is what is happening. So teacher education, the main thing, the main idea to what you say is to inculcate these kind of things. What is these innovative ideas is to refine your practices. That is, if you're good at teaching, if you're good at writing on the blackboard and very weak at explaining. If you're good at interacting with the students but very weak at writing on the board. So you try to check out what negatives you have in your teaching and you try to refine them. So that is why this course is meant, this 2 years course. So these are the innovative ideas. So second one is reflective teaching and reflective teacher education. And the third innovative idea is called as constructivism and teacher education. Now what is constructivism is simply, you all know because you have done your psychology in the first semester. The main thing is many of the greatest psychologists like Piaget, Vygotsky, Gardner, Dewey, Tolman and many others have supported this constructivism. Now what is constructivism? Simply to say, constructivism is nothing but students try to construct their own knowledge based on their prior knowledge and experiences, and they try to apply them in the present situation. They try to apply them in the present situation. So that is constructivism. Again repeating, constructivism is nothing but students try to construct their own knowledge and experiences, try to construct their knowledge based on their previous experiences, and they try to present in the present situation. So that is constructivism. It is nothing but teacher will be just like a facilitator. So we are introducing you to the constructivist type of mode. For example, you are teaching in a classroom, you are trying to explain the students for about 45 minutes. There are some topics which are very hard and very tough. Even as a teacher, you are not able to make them understand. So what you do, you try to give them a chain where you will understand. For example, when you're speaking on banking, if 8, 9, 10 students, you have banking, you have so what you try to do, you try to construct some things. For example, you ask them, okay, now I want you all to write down if your parents get a salary, where this salary goes, or you want to save some money, where is money, why there is ATM machine. So the previous knowledge what they have, they will be seeing their parents withdrawing some amount from ATMs, or why ATM cards are used. So you try to construct the classroom in such a way, by the end of the day you will come to the conclusion what you want to say, and it will be easy for you. So constructivism and teacher education. So it will help a teacher to communicate much more. For example, I already told you 50 of your students in your classroom may not be good at everything. Some are very slow listeners, some are very active listeners, some are very shyest kind of people. They cannot interact. Even if they know answer, they have the doubt if I tell the teacher whether she's going to accept my answer or not. So there are some kind of situations going on in the classroom. So such kind of classroom situation can be easily handled with the constructivism. So that is what is called as. So these psychologists, great psychologists called Piaget, Vygotsky, Gardner, Dew, Tolman and many others have supported this constructivism, where teacher will just be a facilitator and a coach, and the students will be the person who try to interact. So this is the third innovative which has been introduced into teacher education. Now coming to the fourth one is the soft skills and teacher education. Now what are soft skills? It refers to the personality of a teacher. For example, she should be good at teaching. I told you why soft skills. For example, there are some EPCs which are called as drama and art. You have one of the EPCs in your third semester now. You have drama and art. You have nutrition, I'm not sure, but drama and art, where you will show your other skills. Apart from teaching, teacher should be perfect in everything. She should be able to interact with people. She should be able to have a good artistic skills. We cannot see artistic skills we cannot build if we don't have, but we can try. That is why it is called as practicality. Practice, you have to refine your practices. So soft skills is apart from teaching. So what all skills come under are called as soft skills. Now, for example, soft skills refers to personality traits, social gracefulness, fluency in language, personal habits, friendliness, and also how the way you tackle with the children. See, all your 365 days, a teacher always cannot, for example, not 365 days, whenever you have periods when you go and teach in the classrooms, it is not always you have to speak about subject. There should be some time where you show your soft skills with the children, where children also will know, yes, apart from teaching and apart from my teacher being very serious, even she is jovial. Yes, even she is friendly. Yes, even she can sing well. Yes, even she can perform arts well. So this will have a good impact on the teacher. So this is called as soft skills and teacher education. So soft skill also, that is why EPC 3 has been given in your textbook. Yoga has been introduced into your EPCs, because all-round development of a teacher as well as the student. So yoga, and not only yoga, drama and arts, not only drama and arts, ICT. So it shows, apart from your textbook, these are the different skills where you are performing. The way you use your system, the way you present yourself, the way you present in the form of drama or in the form of art, So all these come under the soft skills. Now coming to the last one, the fifth one is blended learning and teacher education. Now what is blended learning is nothing but getting what we call as getting computers into the classroom. That is information communication technology. You're getting ICT into classroom. You're getting web into classroom. That is called as blended learning. So 45 minutes of class or 40 minutes or 30 minutes of class can be made into smaller, or whatever context you want to explain to the children. For example, 2 or 3 pages, only the concept can be shown to them in the form of web. You can show them audio visual aids, you can show them PPT presentations, you can take those what we call as audio video recordings, you can take them and show them, so they will have the first hand experiences. So even in your teacher education, this has been introduced. The only thing is ICT, or only thing is they wanted to give a blendedness to the education. Education doesn't only belong to the context which is there in the textbook. Education is all-round development of a student. So as you are a student, these blended learning and teacher education has been introduced to you. So these all are called as some of the innovative practices in teacher education. Apart from this, there are many things. But what are important has been given in your textbook. These 5 innovative ideas are okay. You can add up to this. There are many things. Sports you can add up. Learning experiences you can add. So this is only regarding the teacher education. So why innovators has to be inculcated, or why innovators have to be introduced in education, is because as a teacher, you are a student as well. So even you should have an all-round development. The only idea or the only reasons to introduce such kind of innovatives into the classroom is only because all-round development of teacher, all-round development of a student. You as a student, you are still a student now. You are a teacher student. So you as a student also should have an all-round development, not only in the academics, but also in all the co-curricular activities which have been given, whether you can sing well, whether you can perform, whether you can dance, whether you can cook well. So everything comes under the skills. So that is the reason new innovators have been introduced into 2-year course of PED. Only the reason is not to increase your quantity, but to increase your quality. So many of the students, when I see, when they will enter into 2-year course, that is BEd course, they will be very dull, dumb, they don't speak, they don't do anything. But by the end of your course, by the end of your 2 years course, then you are totally changed person. That means that really affected you. The way you talk, the way you speak, the way you interact with the children, the way you dress up yourself, the way you present yourself will totally change. When you regularly come to the college for 2 years, that will be really shown by the end of your 4th semester, while you finish your teaching practices also. because teaching is different and teaching practice is different. You have to write your lesson plans, you have to write your period plans, you have to make your own. So why these soft skills? There is a facility where you have to make your own PPT presentations, you have to make your own teaching methods, teaching what we call as models. You have to create your own models in teaching every day. For example, when you go in your 3rd or 4th semester for practices, every class you have to make a model and show them to teacher. So that shows your skill, that shows your ability to show to the children. So that is the reason these kind of innovatives have been introduced into your teaching and learning process. So again, I'm telling you, as teacher profession is very noblest one. And in the beginning of the classroom, I already told you, when you educate a teacher, you are educating the whole community. And teacher is like an artist. She is an artist in a studio called classroom, where she tries to shape and mold their students with the help of the instrument called as the education. So that is the reason new innovators have been introduced into your classrooms. So this is all about more ideas and more innovators. I want you all to make a note, what kind of quality a teacher has to be given and what kind of quality she has to gain in these 2 years. You just make a note, just put the heading as, just write down a small note, just write down quality assurance, put the heading as quality assurance, quality assurance. Just make a note, quality assurance of teacher education. Quality assurance of teacher education. Write down under that. This is a heading, quality assurance in teacher education. This is the heading. Under that you write down, in India, Dave, D-A-V-E, this is the name of a person, in India, Dave, D-A-V-E, Dave, developed a comprehensive program, consisting of three broad areas, for quality teacher education, comma, continue writing, namely competency, C-O-M-P-E-T-E-N-C-E, namely competency, comma, commitments, and performance. So I'm again repeating it, In India, Dave developed a comprehensive program consisting of 3 broad areas for quality teacher education. Namely, the first area is competency. The second area is commitment. The third area is performance. So put the heading as competency, So these are the 3 broader areas where the quality teacher education would show up. So these 3 areas you can see, So what kind of competency a teacher has to be built up in this 2 years, what kind of commitment she has to give it, and what sort of performance she has to perform. So all these things, this is very important, ma'am. Any question regarding teacher education, quality teacher education, you can write down this. This is according to Dave, which he clearly stated about 3 broader areas which are especially for quality teacher education. So under competency, write down. Under competency, put the heading as competency. There are small subdivisions. I'm just going to give them to you all. Write down under competency, put the first one as contextual competency. First, under competency, the first one is contextual. CONTEXPUAL. Contextual competency. Second one is conceptual competency. Conceptual. CONCEPTUAL. Conceptual competency. The first one is contextual. Second one is conceptual competency. Third one, content competency. Content. CONTENT. Content competency. Fourth one, transactional competency. Transactional competency. Transactional competency. Then fifth one, competency related to other educational activities. Competency related to other educational activities. Competency related to other educational activities. So in the brackets you put down like other educational activities until you write down co-curricular activities, that is planning and organization of various co-curricular activities. Planning.
Repeat this point once again, please.
Yes, ma. Who is this, ma?
Ma'am, Maurika, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me, ma. What, ma?
Repeat this point once again, ma'am.
Okay. The fifth point is competency related to other educational activities, ma. So, what kind of other educational activities? I told you, it is nothing but planning and organizing of various co-curricular activities. Planning and organizing of various co-curricular activities.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sixth one, competency to develop teaching learning materials. Competency to develop teaching learning materials. Seventh one, evaluation competency. Seventh one, evaluation competency. Eighth one, management competency. 8th one, management competency. Ninth one, competency related to working with parents. Working with parents. Competency related to working with parents. And 10th one, competency related to working with community. Competency related to working with community. Competency related to working with community. Now, what is the meaning of competency? Competency is mastery over everything. That is, she should have full mastery over the context, what is given, the concept, what she is going to explain in the classroom, the content, what she has already read in the classroom, and also the way she transacted to the students. So she should have that competency. Then competency related to other educational activities is the way she organize and plan co-curricular activities. For example, whether it is Independence Day or the Republic Day or what we call as the college day, or the school day or the annual day. So whatever programs, she should have that competency to overcome, that she should have that competency to plan and organize, and also competency to develop teaching learning materials, that is getting new ideas into classroom, getting them into classroom and creating new materials to show, whether it is in the art form or whether it is in a model form. Then competency, evaluation competency, that she should be full mastery over evaluation. That is when she gives a assignment or a summative or a formative kind of test, she should be able to give the question paper in a form where she can evaluate according to that, where she can see to it that every student will be able to answer it. The next one is management competence. That is how rapport she maintains with the management. And next one, competency related to working with the parents. When there is a parent PTM meetings, so how she interacts with the teachers, how she interacts with the students or parents, how she interacts with them. And the last one is competency related to working with the community. Now, working with the community, I already told you, she is the person who tries to interact between the student, the teacher, the management and the administration, and how she is answerable to the community also. This comes under competency. The second heading, put the second heading as commitment. First one, this all comes under competency. Now the second one is commitment. You can write down otherwise A, B, C. So A is competency. Now B is commitment. B is commitment. We are speaking about the three broad areas of quality teacher education now. So first is competency. The second area we are speaking about the commitment. So under B, write down the first one. Commitment to the learner. Commitment to the learner. Commitment to the learner. Second one, commitment towards society. Commitment towards the society. Third most important one, commitment towards profession. Commitment towards profession. Fourth one, commitment to excellency. Commitment to excellency. Commitment to excellency. The last one, the fifth one, commitment to basic values. Commitment to basic values. I'm again repeating under the broader area of commitment. The first one is commitment to the learner. How a teacher, educator has to commit that is commitment to the learner is nothing but she has to have the tolerance kind of things when children do mistake, and also commitment towards this progress. If a child is there who cannot do anything, and as a teacher she has to see to it, according to this commitment to the learner, she has to see to it that these mistakes are not repeated. Not only that, she should have this tolerance kind of thing when she is into the profession of teaching and learning process. That is why it is called as commitment towards the learner. Towards the learner, what she has to think, okay, this is my duty, I have to change him. I have to change the pattern of teaching. Okay, if he's not okay with this, I'll go for another one. So that is called as commitment towards the learner. Second one is commitments towards the society. That is feeling the responsibilityness. That is, they have to have that as a responsible person, as you are the nation builder, you should have some responsibility towards the society. That is called as commitment towards the society. Commitment towards the profession is the prime thing. This is the first thing. That is, you should have that strong desire for professional development. The only thing is that. Now coming to the fourth one is commitment to excellency. That is to become more knowledgeable person and to give good and to impart good wisdom and knowledge to the children. Fifth one is commitment to basic values that you all know. Now coming to the third one, that is C, performance. A is competency, B is commitment, and C is the performance. So under performance there are few. I'm just going to tell it and wind up the class now. Under performance, first one is classroom performance. Classroom performance. Second one, school level performance. School level performance. First is the classroom performance. Second one is the school level performance. Third one, out of school education, out of school education activities performance. Out of school education activities performance. Out of school education activities performance. Fourth one, parents related performance. Parents related performance. Fifth one, community level performance. Community related performance. Community related performance. So these all are the three broader areas, or it is called as Dave paradigm of teacher education. So these three we spoke, what is competency, what kind of competency, and what kind of commitment, and what kind of performances has to be made, and why this teacher education. So this, basing on these three broader areas, the quality of a teacher depends. Now with this I finish off the practice assessment. There are much given. So in the tomorrow's class we are going to discuss about what kind of, for example, in your textbook it is given as national and regional institutions of teacher education. There are much given, what you say is content is given, but I'm going to see to it that it is clubbed to only 2 pages. Only the major institutions we are going to discuss in the tomorrow's class. That is regional institution of education, institution of advanced study in education. So what kind of national and regional institutions of teacher educations are there in India and also abroad? We are going to discuss them in the tomorrow's class and try to wind up the policies and practices in teacher education. So today we spoke about what kind of practices are being given in the teacher education, what kind of new ideas and new innovators have been introduced. The only prime reason is for the quality teacher education. So when a teacher is called as a good teacher, we just spoke about the Dale, which is called as Dale paradigm of teacher education. So 3 broad areas we have discussed. How she should be competent. That is, competence is nothing but full mastery over everything. Now coming to the commitment, why the teacher profession is called as the noblest. She has to be committed, and the performance point of view also we spoke. So as of now, students, if you have any doubts, you can just ask me. Another one is from, I think so just now I got a message from the principal sir saying that in the month of December you will be going for teaching practices. Month of December you will be going for teaching practices, and by November 10th or 15th we are supposed to wind up our what we call as portions. The curriculum has to be finished by November 10th. So most probably, including giving notes as well as that, I'll try to finish it up by November 10th. And December, you're going to have your December 1st. That is, from December 1st, you'll be going to schools practices. Don't get panicked. It is just information. It will be according to the feasibility. There will be another information from the principal as well to you all. So apart from that, in today's class, if you have any doubts, you can just ask me now. Students, are you all there? You're gone or you're with your own work?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you repeat the definition of a classroom is like a studio where student is an artist? Can you repeat it once again, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. I'll repeat it once again. Okay, this was the definition which I read it 10 years back. Not 10 years back. Yeah, 10 years back. Not more. 2006 I've heard this definition, ma. But I'm not knowing the name of the person, but I still love that definition. Just write down, ma. A classroom is like a studio. A classroom is like a studio. You're there?
Yes, ma'am, there.
Yeah, a classroom is like a studio where a teacher is an artist, who tries to shape and mold their students, who try to shape and mold their students with the help of an instrument called as education. With the help of an... Okay, ma'am. Okay. Anything else, ma'am? Anything else? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Yeah, madam.
Ma'am, these teaching learning models materials will be there, na ma'am?
Yeah, Rami.
They also come under innovative practices?
Yes, it is, ma. It is one of these. See, I do not, these 5 practices which have been given, I thought it is okay. 5 practices, but I wanted to introduce these also. The prime innovative is material only, ma. All the time you cannot take a laptop to the classroom. All the time you cannot ask the management or anybody to show this PPT presentations. It may not be feasible, but which is feasible, you can take that material to the class. So that comes under innovative idea only, Ramani.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
In the final practical also, that is the innovative you are going to show it in the government schools. Most probably what happens is, in the government school, they don't allow us to use this PPTs because many students will be there, time slot will be very less, but model makes a very sense and your marks will be also given for this innovative idea. Is it clear, ma?
Yes, ma'am. So they may be a working model, they may be a paper presentation or a chart presentation.
But charts are not applicable, ma'am. See, most of the time charts, what happens is, you write down those charts and you present them, what happens is your writing may not be seen to the children. There will be 50 or 60 students in a classroom where they cannot see. Chart is the least priority given as a teaching learning material or a teaching learning model.
Okay, ma'am.
Any kind of miniatures ma ఎక్కువగా చార్ట్ ని అస్సలు తీసుకొని వెళ్ళకండమ్మా దయచేసి. You will lose your marks. For your time, for your better understanding, I'm saying please don't take దానికంటే వేరేది ఆలోచించండి, because fourth semester is very closer to you all. You have your 8th, 9th and 10th class textbooks. Depending on your M1 and M2, you try to select models now itself, because time is passing off very fast. Month of March or month of April, you will show your models. So within 3 or 4 months, you have to show your models in the school. అప్పుడు కరోనా కదా నేను చేయలేదు అనడానికి ఉండదమ్మా. Yes, Sangamitra, tell me.
Models, we have to make models for each and every lesson plan, ma'am.
No, ma, no, each and every lesson plan is not necessary. But for your, if you are able to do that, if you feel that yes, I have to show this to make the class very interactive, it is okay. But for your final practicals, you have to present in front of the external, internal, as well as the students.
Okay, ma'am.
So if it will be helpful for you to start from beginning of your teaching practice only, Sangamitra. A small model. మీరు ఈ రోజు క్లాస్ లో ఏదైనా చెప్తున్నారు, to make it more attentive. For example, in my physics class when I was doing, మాకు కిడ్నీ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తుంటే they bought a small kidney of a goat, for example, which still now I remember that.
Okay, ma'am.
So anything of that kind, ma, anything of first hand experience మీరు చేస్తే, and that will be helpful for your final practical as well. Is it clear, ma? Anyone has any doubts more regarding the class what we had today? You can just ask me, or else we can wind the class. It's already 12:30.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Pramod garu cheppandi. Pramod, yeah, tell me, Pramod.
Okay. Madam, ఇది కాంపిటెన్సీ ఎగ్జాక్ట్ మీనింగ్ మేడం.
కాంపిటెన్సీ అంటే కంప్లీట్ గా దాని మీద, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫుల్ మాస్టరీ అంటారు, పట్టుత్వం అంటే ఎన్ని వాళ్ళు టెక్స్ట్ లో కానీ, అంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ లో కానీ, లేకపోతే టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో ఉన్న దాని మీద అన్నిటి మీద పట్టుత్వం అంటారు కదమ్మా. దాని ఫుల్ మాస్టరీ కాంపిటెన్సీ అంటే అది. వాళ్ళు ఎలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ అయినా హ్యాండిల్ చేయగలరు, దాని కాంపిటెన్సీ అంటారు. అర్థమైందా ప్రమోద్ గారు? కాంపిటెన్సీ అంటే అన్నిటి మీద. ఇప్పుడు ఒక క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో ఒక 40 minutes లో మనం ఇంత చిన్న పారాగ్రాఫ్ ని చూడకుండా కూడా, అంటే టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఓపెన్ చేయకుండా కూడా 40 minutes క్లాస్ ని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయగలిగేది కాంపిటెన్సీ. అంటే తనకి మాస్టరీ ఉందన్నమాట ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్ మీద. తను ఏం క్లాస్ లో చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నాడో దాని మీద పట్టుత్వం అన్నమాట. ఎస్, నేను వితౌట్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్, వితౌట్ సీయింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్ నేను ఒక 40 minutes క్లాస్ లో చెప్పగలను అనే కెపాసిటీ, అది కాంపిటెన్సీ అంటే.
ఓకే.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else? If you have any doubts, can ask me, Amma. Telugu students, Telugu writing students, Amma. మీ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో చక్కగా ఇచ్చారు, అది చూడండి. ఒక మంచి విద్యార్థిని అవ్వాలి అని అంటే, ఎందుకు టీచర్ ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేయాలి అనే దాని విషయంలో టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో ఇచ్చారు. సారీ, టైం సరిపోలేదు, లేకపోతే మీ దాని విషయం కూడా నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేదాన్ని. ఒక నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో టైం ఉంటే ఖచ్చితంగా దాని విషయం కూడా మనం డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. ఓకేటమ్మా?
ఓకే మా.
ఓకే. Shivani, you're there, Shivani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. If anyone has any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll just put the call. So,
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Tomorrow sharp 11 o'clock. Tomorrow sharp 11 o'clock. I'm going to start the class, but today I had some work. That is the reason I've joined at 11:30. But tomorrow class will be at 11 o'clock only.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.